What's good? Another uncut entry. Just gonna check my notes, remind myself of what I've done this past week. Oh, let's see. I think it's this one. Nope, that's not the one. I swear I had it. There you go. Oh yeah. Is that? Yeah, that's the one. Ugh, I didn't really do what I said I did. I continue planning like the outstanding tasks for the Forged Denim Jacket for the release in early 2026. Reviewed the overall direction for Pioneers of Greatness in terms of the branding. What else did I review? I reviewed sort of how I deliver these uncuts, especially like the snippets, how I distribute them, how I cut them, and I sort of tried to apply the structure that I had back a year ago this week, but I don't think it's gonna take some time to do that because I've been freestyling. Yeah, but what went well? Did I really analyze? I was okay. A year ago, had this structure, right, and I would break down. I would break down my day hourly. It was just sort of like a framework. So from the day I wake up, from the hour I wake up, all the way until I go to sleep, and it's like, yeah, time blocking per hour, every hour, and then I would sort of just group together hours that are for like working out, for deep work, for preparing lunch, eating lunch, preparing dinner, cooking dinner, eating dinner, a block of hour to draw, read, go have a workout if I didn't mention it already, and it's just to have like a more structured and more of a routine day, so I know what I have to do in certain hours. But I've sort of lost that in the last couple of years, not couple of years, last year, because it's just been madness. Yeah, madness, and now I'm slowly kind of like settling with the whole sort of like job hunting shit. So that's out the window. So then I have more free mental space to think about this structured routine and implement that. But I didn't really do it this following week. I don't know. I swear I have like some kind of insomnia or some shit. I've been sleeping like 6 a.m., 3 a.m., even going to work with only like 2 hours sleep, 2 hours, 4 hours, and then coming back from work and then taking the fattest nap and then waking up hella early, oh hella late the following day on my day offs. But yeah, no, I think it's just because it's towards the end of the year, and I'm just like, yo, let me rest a bit. Yeah, because I think this year's been busy, busy trying to look for like that 9 to 5 that I've totally scrapped now. I was shadowing a fashion startup for half a year, and then working a whole bunch with the pioneers of greatness, prototyping, sampling. Yeah, there's just a lot of shit. But then now that I'm sort of like slowing down a bit, I'm having more time to, analyze what's working, what's not working, what hasn't been there this, whole time. So then I guess I'm just preparing for the new year. That's pretty much what I'm doing. But let me see what else is in my notes. But yeah, no, I had in my notes that it's the small actions, like the small boring actions that, compile throughout the year that really make the difference. It's the ones that, move the needle, push the needle. And then an example of that would be, yeah, me shadowing at an independent fashion studio with Robert Jesse at the beginning of the year, or towards the end of January. That's where I began shadowing, coming in once a week, helping with whatever is going on with Robert Jesse, what projects he has going on, and then me jumping on, sort of being thrown in the deep end. Since before joining and shadowing, I wasn't as I wasn't consistent at sewing whatsoever, and that was just one way for me to, move uh keep move the ball roll. It's not even the right phrase. Like start pushing the needle a bit, no pun intended, and then get the ball rolling. Because the whole idea was to, start being more active with sewing and just doing fashion shit. And then that's sort of what I did for half half the year until I picked up the part-time job, thinking that I'm gonna end up landing a 9 to 5, because when I when I stopped shadowing at Robert Jesse, I had some interviews lined up and whatnot, and obviously me thinking I'd be landing that shit after just 1 month of picking up the part-time bar job, but that never happened. And then from then I started working on Pioneers of Greatness, starting doing the prototyping every week. Yeah, week week by week, really get into that rhythm. And yeah, up until this point, really working on the Pioneers of Greatness. Actually, as the time went on, my focus kind of narrowed more, because at first when I was prototyping, I was doing like sleeveless tee, I was doing the training knit vest, I was also designing what is it, like a tracksuit jacket on Clo 3D, just doing a whole bunch of shit, but not really getting anywhere. So basically, spreading myself too thin. And then what I realized is I actually need to, narrow down on something and really have a focus instead of just spreading my focus on different products. I'm better off just, you know, zeroing on one product and having like that tunnel vision. Because since I'm doing everything myself at the moment, then I might as well just work on one thing and do that to my very best of my abilities. And yeah, we got there, with the forged denim jacket. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing the past week, like literally reducing everything to its, bare bones. Like if it's not moving the needle, then forget about it. That's just distraction. That's not worth my time, which is good because now I'm making sure that the way I set up my routine, my structure, it's only to benefit the goals I have personally and for the brand and whatnot. And then everything else is distractions, and that they all need to be cut off. And then yeah, that applies with like my fitness, working out and all that shit. And yeah, I guess it just goes hand in hand. If I'm building pioneers of greatness, then I need to have some discipline with my health as well. So that's what's been going on so far. What else is there? But yeah, same goes with like the marketing, the brand, because I tend to look at brands that have budgets for marketing, brands that like, I don't know, like what have I been looking at? Let's just say established brands, with dedicated teams and budget for marketing. And then there's me like, oh, how could I replicate what they're doing? But then at the same time, they're not, I'm not at their level yet. So there's no point of me like trying to do what they're doing because, there's a level between me and what they do. So then for me, I was like, you know what? Right now for the marketing for POG, I'll just throw whatever shit sticks on the wall and then run with that. Still having some sort of framework and still carrying the branding, the brand philosophy to a certain degree. But for now, it's just throwing whatever at the wall and then seeing what sticks and then just iterate on that. But yeah, I think at the very beginning of starting a brand, it's that time for you to just experiment in all phases of running a brand, from your processes, your marketing, your designs, your philosophy, blah blah blah. Basically, just each side of a brand, you know. So I'm not putting too much pressure on having clean cut ideas or clean cut marketing materials. It's supposed to be rough. Your first versions are supposed to be rough, and if they're too polished, then it's too late. It's too late that you took way too long perfecting something, and then now it's a little bit late to release or to drop. What else is there? Yeah, like I said, towards the end of the year, sort of slowing down a bit, and then me realizing it's sort of like the quiet before the storm. Because obviously, once I s- dropped the forged denim jacket and made it available and start aggressively marketing it, then I'm gonna be getting customers and sales bit by bit, and then that will allow me to become more busier with sewing and all that hands-on fashion shit, since it's gonna be made to order. And then also the whole packing, packaging, delivering, basically going through the A to Z process, from concept to delivery, and then going through that again, because I think it's been a couple of years since I actually dropped something and went through that process. But this time there's going to be more steps, since I'm creating the actual garment itself instead of like a blank and then just screen printing on it. So I think that'll be another experience that I'm looking forward to, because it's going to be slightly different, because then now it's the actual garment that I've designed, and then seeing how the people react to it once they receive their forged denim jacket, and then gathering feedback, and then seeing where I can improve from there. What else? But yeah, nah, that's pretty much what's been going around my mind the past week. Yeah, I think that's good enough for this week. That's it from me. I'm out. Peace.